I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because, wow, we are going to unpack a pretty fascinating mystery. We're diving into a profoundly deep, incredibly powerful daily therapy. It's happening all over the world right this very second. And the crazy part? It is completely 100% free. So, what if the most powerful therapy in your entire life didn't cost a single dollar? I know, it sounds almost too good to be true, right? But this is a practice performed by millions of Muslims every single day. The catch, though, is that so many of us just rush right through it. We kind of go through the motions without fully realizing the immense, literal, life-changing power we're holding in our hands. Now, just to be clear, we are not talking about some expensive medicine here. This isn't a luxury wellness retreat up in the mountains, and it is definitely not a weekend motivational seminar. Today, we're going to uncover the deep spiritual layers and honestly the absolutely fascinating scientific observations behind the daily practice of Salah, or Islamic prayer. We're looking at exactly why it was commanded 5 times a day, and you'll see pretty quickly that it's so much more than just a ritual. Section 1. The Divine Invitation. Okay, so we really need to reframe how we look at daily prayer. We got to shift it from being this mere routine or, a chore into what it actually is, a direct personal call. Imagine for a second that your phone rings. If it's your boss calling or a really good friend, you probably wouldn't even hesitate to pick it up, right? You'd answer it immediately. But what if you knew the caller was the King of all kings? Would you ignore that call? No way. 5 times every single day, the adhan rings out. And it is not just a clock chiming to tell you the time. It is literally the ultimate VIP invitation from Allah himself. The Quran tells us in Surah Taha, "Establish prayer for my remembrance." I mean, just think about your average day for a minute. You've got stress, looming deadlines at work or school, maybe some arguments, and just endless, mindless social media scrolling. It's absolute chaos, isn't it? And right in the middle of all that noise, every few hours, Allah interrupts your chaos. He provides this beautifully simple, grounding reminder to just step back, unplug from the crazy world, and come back to Him. Because honestly, Salah isn't something Allah needs. It's something we desperately, desperately need. And this brilliantly illustrates the immediate, real-world impact of that connection. Surah Al-Ankabut states, "Indeed, prayer prevents immorality and wrongdoing." Notice what's happening here. The source material makes it abundantly clear that Salah doesn't just offer rewards later on in the hereafter. No, it is actively changing the person who performs it sincerely right now, in the present moment. It's a real-time transformation. Section 2. A river for the soul. The Islamic tradition uses some seriously powerful metaphors to explain the spiritual cleansing. And I want to share one of my absolute favorites with you. It's a beautiful visual concept. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, once posed a very specific question to his companions. And I actually want you to ask yourself this too. Imagine you've got a fresh flowing river right outside your front door. If you stepped into it and bathed yourself 5 times every single day, would any dirt possibly remain on you? Naturally, his companions replied, "No." And the Prophet responded, "That is the example of the 5 daily prayers. Allah wipes away sins through them." It's just a constant, continuous, flowing mercy. It is total spiritual relief, washing over the believer day after day after day. To put this into a bit of a modern perspective, imagine you are walking around all day carrying this incredibly heavy backpack. And every time you tell a lie or make a mistake or hold onto a regret, boom, another heavy stone gets dropped into that bag. Eventually, the weight becomes so crushing you can barely even breathe. Well, Salah is the gift that lets you completely take off that heavy backpack, drop those stones, and just breathe again. And you get to do that 5 times a day. Section 3. The Science of Salah. So we've explored the metaphysical side, but let's pivot for a second and look at the physical world. Scientists study the mechanics of the body, while the Quran guides the journey of the soul. Obviously, these are 2 completely different fields of study, right? But what's super fascinating is how modern research into human physical and psychological wellness aligns so remarkably well with this ancient spiritual guidance. It's actually mind-blowing. When we look at this practice through the lens of empirical science, the results are really something else. Researchers using EEG monitors to track brain waves have noted increased attention-related activity and significantly reduced stress levels during Islamic prayer. And when looking at heart rate patterns, they've actually observed improved relaxation and emotional calmness. Physically, the actual movements of Salah, the standing, bowing, prostrating, and sitting, they gently mobilize your joints and muscles, which helps maintain physical flexibility and balance. Now, I want to be super clear here. These scientific findings don't somehow prove the Quran.
Rather, they beautifully demonstrate that the Creator knows exactly what His creation needs to function at its absolute best, both physically and mentally.
Section 4. The Secret of Sujood.
This brings us to what I consider the emotional climax of our explainer today. This is where the physical and the spiritual just merge together in the most profound way possible. I'm talking about sujood. Sujood is the physical act of prostration, where the worshiper's forehead literally touches the ground. Now, if you were just observing this from the outside looking in, this posture might look like total humiliation. But in Islam, it's the exact opposite. Placing your face, which is the most honored part of your body, on the bare earth for Allah alone, is spiritually recognized as the absolute highest honor.
As Surah Al Alaq commands, prostrate yourself and draw near. And going back to the science for a moment, research has actually suggested that this very specific physical posture, especially when you combine it with calm breathing and deeply focused worship, strongly contributes to relaxation and emotional calm. It's this incredible moment of complete, total surrender that results in immense tranquility. And that brings us to one of the most powerful concepts in our source material. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "The closest a servant comes to his Lord is while he is in prostration." Just take a second and think about that. You are not closest when you are standing tall or speaking loudly or walking around proudly. No, you are closest when you are physically at your absolute lowest. The ultimate piece of sujood isn't something that you can measure with an EEG machine in a laboratory. It's found in the profound realization that right in this very moment, you are speaking directly to your Creator.
Section 5. The Path to Peace.
Let's bring this right back to your personal journey and how we all navigate this crazy modern world. Because people go to exhausting lengths searching for peace out there in the world, don't they? We travel across the globe looking for it, we buy incredibly expensive things hoping they'll somehow fill the void, and we chase career success for decades, totally convinced that peace is waiting right at the finish line. And yet for millions of people, the true, lasting peace they've been frantically searching for has just been quietly waiting for them on a simple prayer mat all along.
We really have to completely reframe Salah in our minds. It is not a mandatory, heavy burden on your schedule that you just have to check off. It's an invitation. It's an intimate conversation. It is a divine mercy. But most importantly, it is a daily rescue mission. It's literally a lifeline thrown out to you, repeating 5 times every single day to pull you out and save you from the chaos of life. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. The very next time you hear the adhan ring out, what is your first thought going to be? Are you going to sigh and think, "Oh, I have to pray"? Or will you shift your perspective and realize Allah is inviting me to meet Him? Because a single, truly sincere prayer can change the entire trajectory of your day, and a changed day can change a life. Ultimately, a life devoted to that divine connection can lead to eternal success. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this shifts the way you view the secret peace of Salah. I highly encourage you to dive into the source texts yourself and explore these profound concepts. There is just so much more waiting for you to discover.